It's Tori. I'm back for part 2 of our art lesson. Last week we began by doing a self-portrait, and then you also did a piece of artwork with 1 to maybe 3 words that described you or that you thought described yourself. Today we're not on my porch, but we are meeting where I do a lot of my art down in the basement, but this is sort of my art center, so I thought we'd come to you from here. Now, while I finished getting ready, I was just folding and setting up an example, and I'll show you that in a minute. Let me go over the materials that you're going to need today. While you take a look at the materials, I'm going to put my hair up. Whenever I do artwork, especially when I'm cutting or using glue, or paint, I want my hair out of the way, and I'm also feeling a little warm, so I'm going to take my sweatshirt off. Again, I like to do that when I'm doing artwork because I don't want my sleeves getting in the way or getting messed up. So I will show you those supplies, and I will see you in a minute. All right, so here are some of the supplies you will need today. You will need a ruler. You will need a pencil. I always like to have a couple on hand, and I also like to have a pencil sharpener ready. Here's a little tip. Only use colored pencils in a sharpener if it's made for them, or a handheld. Colored pencils are softer and they will clog up and ruin an electric pencil sharpener. Just a little information for you. And you will also need a pair of scissors, a glue stick. If you don't have a glue stick, white glue will work, but you only want a little bit of it. And if you don't have white glue or a glue stick, you can use Scotch tape or any type of tape you may have, anything that's going to secure 2 pieces of paper together. Artists of 2nd and 3rd grade, welcome to my basement and welcome to my art area. We are making Agamographs today, and Agamographs are 2 pictures combined and then folded. So it'll look like this. Those are 2 different pictures, and it'll be every other stripe. I'm going to show you how to do that. And then you're going to do a simple fan fold. And when you fold it, let me just fold mine again, because I had stretched it out. My glue was pretty fresh when I made this example. So an Agamograph, when you look at it from one side, you're going to see one picture of a bear sitting, and it might be a little harder to do. And when I look at it from a different angle, you're going to see more of a singular bear. It's a little hard to show you on camera, but we are going to do it with a larger picture. That was an example of the Agamograph, but we're going to do this with you, your self-portrait and the word that describes you. So one direction, your family and your friends are going to see the picture of you like they see you, your portrait. And on the second angle, when they look at it from a different side, they're going to see the words that describe you. Should we begin? I think we should. I'm going to change the view so you can see my artwork as I go through and do it. Again, I want to have a clean working area. I have moved my art over to the side, and my whole entire table is clean and ready for me to begin working because I don't want a lot of stuff out to get in the way. Let me change this camera angle and let's get to it. I'll see you in a few. All right, so to begin, we need to cut our paper. To do this, we're going to measure out 1-inch strips, and we're going to measure on the back of the picture you drew. So here I am putting marks every inch at the bottom, and then I'm going to move my ruler to the top, and again I'm going to mark down every inch. Now we used 8.5 inches of type of paper, so we'll have a 1/2 inch left over. And now I'm just lining that up with the lines I made, and I'm drawing a line down. Again, this is the back of the paper. We don't want to have our lines on the front on our drawing. lining it up, and my last line. I'm going to set that over to the side, and now I'm going to bring out the paper with the words that describe me. Again, I flip it over to the back. This time, instead of measuring each time, I'm just using the length of the ruler. Now this might create a problem at the end because the ruler is a little thicker than an inch, but it's faster and it's pretty close. So again, I'm almost done with my lines on the back. You can see the lines are made, and I use pencil. I don't need the black board so I don't mess up my lines. I put out my purple paper, and I will grab my scissors, and I'm going to begin cutting. Doesn't matter which one you choose to start with. I'm going with my face. And again, I'm going to be cutting reverse. So I'm on the back, and I'm going to start lining these up as I put them down. And I'm leaving space between my cuts. The reason is when I'm going to cut out the second piece of paper, those pieces are going to go in between. So every other one I'm going to put the second paper. I finished cutting out my portrait, and now I'm beginning to cut out my words. Again, working backwards, I'm going to be filling in the spaces with these. So every other one. I'm going in the same order though. I am not gluing anything down yet. I'm just cutting and placing. I don't want to do glue until my very last step. And you might have to spread these out a little and move them around as we go. So now I've noticed a problem. I have more cuts of my portrait because we did a smaller line. I'm going to have to readjust, sort of move around. I've noticed that if I put two pieces together, it should all work out, but now I'm going to have to readjust again. This is a good thing I did not use any glue. And I'm just going to make some adjustments and make sure that it'll all work out at the end. When you do yours, you want to make sure your cuts are all the same. So whichever way you decide to draw your lines, be consistent. So Eeks, did you see what happened? We did two different types of cuts because I wanted to show you two different techniques to how to cut your paper. And because the first way made thinner lines, we had more paper. And the second way gave us wider lines, and I had less. So I had to kind of play around to make it all fit. And I think at the end, I realized having two pieces together of my face at the very end of it made the most sense when I'm going to go fold it. But you want to make sure everything is laid out correctly. The other trick, not even a trick, but it's a little hard. You're going to want to put your lines on the back. And the reason that we are doing that is because you don't want to have lines on your final product. That also means though when we are putting them down in reverse order. So you want to be careful and lining them up. Some people find it really helpful to number the backs so they can remember the order that they cut them, and that will help you order them on your paper. But I would do every other, just like we did. And now it's time to glue or tape them down, whichever material you have at your house. I'm going to go ahead and do that. Okay, 2-3 artists, I have to be totally honest with you. I started filming, or I thought I started filming, and I did not hit record. So you can see here, I'm taking those cuts, I slid them over to the side, but I kept them in order. And I'm putting down glue right on the purple paper. You could do individual ones, but I find it easier to just glue on the purple and put down each strip. And just finishing it up with the last two. Remember, I had to put those two together because my cuts were different sizes. Last glue. Press that into place. And make sure your glue sticks are closed well, so that way we keep those nice and dry. And I've noticed that I have some little flips that need some glue. So I'm just going back and fixing those up a little bit. That'll happen when you do the whole page sort of glue at a time. Capping my glue, but I've now noticed that there is a little bit of glue, so I want to wait till that dries. Again, when you're using a glue stick, it'll turn clear when you're done. And now it is dry and I am ready to fold it. We are going to do a traditional fan fold. So just like a hot day when you need to cool down and you fold a piece of paper, you're going to go in one direction and then fold it in the opposite direction. This will be a lot easier for you than it was for me because you do not have a tripod in your way. You're just going to fold back and forth each piece. My paper is all folded. I took a second to really press down on those creases, and you can see now when we look in one direction we can see the words. When we look in the other direction you could see the portrait. Back and forth, and I'm going to put it down and you'll see it when it's a little bit flatter and hanging. Or if it would be hanging, I kept it on the table. Here's the portrait. And then when you flip it to the other side you can see the words that describe a person. All right, and that is an Agamograph. Thank you again for joining me for a little bit of art. I will be your guest art teacher in 4 more weeks. So on that 5th week, I will be the guest art teacher again. For that day, we will be going outside and we'll be doing some rubbing. So if you are going to be inside, find something with texture and have that ready. Don't have to worry about that though for 5 weeks. Hope you had fun. I will talk to you soon. If you complete this, please attach it as a picture to the assignment, and I would love to take a look and see the work you did. Make sure you turn it in so you get credit for doing the lesson. Have a great spring break, and I will see you all soon. Bye-bye.